Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to let Celeste in. Okay, cool. So thank you so much for everyone for jumping on tonight. We are going to do a little development training. So I'm not going to do so much of like mindset sort of stuff. We're going to actually work on what it looks like to build a successful network marketing business. Now, let me just try and share my screen with you. Thank you guys for being so patient with me because I'm actually still figuring out how to how to do this. Okay, I'll go this one. Okay, tell me if you guys can see this.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
amazing. Perfect. Okay. I'm just going to change my little view box so I can actually see what I'm doing. Thanks, guys, for all of your patience. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of things tonight. We're going to talk about how to build a successful networking business, but also how to build your Monat business. We're going to be talking about, let me just check no one else is in the waiting room. Can see. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of things tonight. It would be good if you guys can take some notes, but also this will be recorded. You can share any of this, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to go over a few things. We're going to go through content marketing, relationships and connection, education, skills and expertise, development and systems and duplication. It's been a long day. Okay, so what I want to explain to you guys is this as a whole is what it looks like to have a successful network marketing business or to have a successful Monat business, right? So, one sec. Oh, no, it's not what I want. Okay. So most people are going to be, when we're doing our Monat business, a lot of people just focus on the content and marketing. So we focus on our content, we focus on, marketing ourselves. We focus a little bit on relationships and connection, which is actually, a big part of what we do. But a lot of the time, these three things usually are kind of left a little bit to the dark or just not done at all. So this is all of what it takes to be able to do your business and do it well. So we've got systems and duplication, development and education skill and expertise. We're going to go through all of these and how to really work your business in terms of like making sure that you are hitting all of these sorts of things. Now, it's not going to be like overwhelming. It's not going to be anything, ridiculous, but I'm going to show you all of these things should be somewhat an aspect of how you run your business. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go over content and marketing. I'm going to break a couple of these down so you guys can like write some points and stuff like that. So your content and marketing is always how you communicate, your product and your business to your audience. So these are all the different types of things you need to have or you should be doing and that sort of thing. Now, where am I? So solution selling. What we do in Monat in general is we help people obviously in the business and we help people get on the right products. Now, it's our job to educate. It's our job to find people's problems and find a solution to what they do for what they need. So, for example, when we are talking to people about their hair and we know that they have an itchy scalp, they have oily hair, that sort of thing, that's their problem. And what we're doing is we are giving them a solution. Now, we have to do that in the way that we sell. So, thinking about what are my customers' problems and what are my next market partners' problems? Usually, it can be a couple of different things. It can be they need more money, they need a community, they, are feeling burnt out as just like a mum and need something for themselves, that sort of thing. Just make and so you need to make sure that in your content and marketing, you are solution selling. We are selling a product that will solve a problem for them. We are giving them a business that will solve a problem for them. Now, I'm going to kind of go through all of these too much because you guys know I can talk like till the cows come home. So I want to touch on these kind of quickly, but still give them a little bit of stuff because I don't want to keep you guys here for forever. Okay, mastering the art of persuasion. Persuasion kind of sounds like a bad word, but at the same time, what persuasion is it's being authentic, it's storytelling, it's knowing your audience, and it's creating urgency and FOMO. So when if you're being persuasive, if I'm to look at someone who's like, oh wow, like I feel really persuaded to buy that product, or I feel really persuaded to join this business, that just means that you're feeling drawn to that person, you're feeling drawn to that particular thing. So all of those things, authenticity, storytelling, knowing your audience, and creating urgency and FOMO, is mastering the art of persuasion. So next thing, presenting yourself as a service that people need, goes back to solution selling as well. So you always want to make sure that you are presenting yourself as a service, like not so much as like you will present yourself as a person and all that sort of thing as well. But you will then be, if someone clicks onto your page, they go, oh, this person can solve what I need. They're a service that I need in my life. A service, we are relational people, but we always talk about being in service to people. That's what people want from us. So when VIPs come to us, we are in service to them. We are a service. We give them product education. We give them help with their hair. We give them help with their business, all that sort of thing. So technically, we are in ourselves a service. What value are you adding? So this is something huge that a lot of people who are really big on social media talk about. You need to be adding value to people. So adding value, tips, information, how can you help that person, that sort of thing. You need to add value in what your content and marketing really entails. So say if you are posting a reel or you are talking in your stories, a good way to think of this is, what am I providing for the person that is watching this? Am I providing value in a way that I am, giving them tips? It could be something as simple as you're putting in your heatless curls and you're like, oh, tip, I actually love to, make sure I wet my hair beforehand, blah, blah, blah. You're giving someone some kind of help with something. You're not just on there flabbergasting about your day and all that sort of thing. Make sure that in those reels or your stories, or because we're just talking about content now, making sure that you are adding value into what you're talking about. Educational posts speaks for itself, helping someone feel more confident in their decision. That's literally what it is. So when you're posting things educational, you're building trust. You're building trust in a decision that someone is going to make with you, because then they're going to look at that and go, oh, I know that she knows what she's talking about because she's teaching me something. So we always look to somebody. How many people do we follow on social media who you put up an educational post and you're like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I learned something from that. Or I can save that reel. I can save that and save it for later because she's telling me how to curl my hair, or she's telling me, all these things about the products that I'm using. Or it could be educational about the business, that sort of thing. Personal stories for connection, aka storytelling, connectivity, relatability through what you are posting. So telling your story. What this means in terms of like relatability, connectivity, all that sort of thing is, when you're telling someone a story or you're telling someone something about your life or whatever, and your friend goes to you, oh, same thing has happened to me. And someone will always try and relate to you. Like, some people find it really annoying, but I personally am one of those people. I will always try and find something that relates to someone because it genuinely, like, builds connection, it builds a relationship. So when you are trying to find relatability through what you're posting, this is why when I talk about like sharing your why and sharing why you came into this business, you may not think that it is special at all. You may think like, oh, I just needed $50 extra a week. That's what I used to think. But the more that I tell that to people, people go, oh, wow, I really relate. I relate feeling like I had nothing for myself as a mum. I relate to, fighting with my husband about finances. When you are telling your story or telling stories in general, people most of the time will relate to some part of that story. So it's really, really important to do storytelling in your content. We can get on social media all we want and be like, guys, there's a sale and this and that and blah, 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 and post up beautiful graphics or talk about the business. But if we're not telling what it does for us, people don't have you lose that connection with them. You know what I mean? And so we've all got that friend or friends that go like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. This happened to me and blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, that I've been through that, so it builds connection. Where am I up to? Okay, aesthetics only go so far. They're an important part, but not the most important part. People are drawn in with their eyes. Of course, people are drawn in with their eyes if it looks pretty, that sort of thing. I saw this really amazing post by this girl. She's a social media chick, Julia Broom, I think her name is. She's fantastic. But she put up a thing and someone said, do aesthetics mean a lot when you're posting? And she's like, put up two different examples. One looked really pretty, one looked pretty but not as pretty, and she put, if this person just puts aesthetics, graphics, all that sort of thing, and it looks really nice but adds no value, then this person who it doesn't look as aesthetic or that as put together, but they're adding value and you're learning something from them, who are you going to follow? Gone are the days where people just follow aesthetics. Like it's been and gone. People want real stuff now. So you've got to make sure that, yes, it's good. Like make sure that if you're talking, you're near a window or you're near a light or something like that. It's more pleasing to the eye if you are looking clear and bright and all that sort of thing, and your page is looking, decent, but it is not the most important thing in the world. People get into this business and think like, I've got to change my whole page and it's going to look beautiful and this and that to draw people in. But people, it's really not the most important thing. People just want real life stuff. And also one thing that Lexi, I don't know if you guys watched the Lexi training, but she put up that she used to do this and she used to be like real aesthetic and like pick everything that looked like it was from a Pinterest board. But now that she posts like real stuff, and she will even post stuff with big, bold like titles and stuff like that, and she gets so much more interaction with that sort of thing. Okay. Also, your content is only as good as your consistency with it. Content isn't good without consistency, because if you see someone post once a month, you're not following that person. You're not looking at that person. That person isn't actually really marketing what they're doing. Your content, you could upload the best reel ever and it could go viral, but for example. But if you don't post again for a month, number one, you're not going to get new followers. You're not going to get new people. But two, you lose trust with people. If you're not consistent, people lose trust in you because they're like, oh, is she doing the business? Is she not? I don't know. Is she even still using the products? Because for like a while there, she was like showing up every day using her Rejuva beads in her stories and she was going live. But now I haven't seen anything from her. So is she even still doing it? Are the products, is she still even using the products? No matter what we tell ourselves, that's what subconsciously goes through people's heads when you're not consistent. So if you're serious about this business and you're serious about making this business, something that's going to bring you in some good income, you have to learn new habits. And yes, posting on social media is like, trust me, I get it, because for a while there, I was posting, and I still try to post a reel every day, be on my stories every day. It is work, but it's better than going to a 9-to-5 job and to like doing all these other things. I'm having to learn all these new skills and be consistent and hold myself accountable to do these sorts of things, not because it's what we should do, It's because we are building trust, we are building authenticity, we are building like a good relationship with all of the people that are seeing our content and marketing. Okay. Get social on social media. I feel like that just speaks for itself. If you're not on social media, what are you using it for? Don't be a consumer, because a lot of us join this business because we went, oh, we can turn our scroll time into an income, you know? So don't just be a consumer, actually be social on social media, talk to people, write comments, like people's things, you know, actually be interactive, because it's just a waste if we're just using it to fill ourselves, then it ends up just being a waste. Okay, live stories, feeds, reels, etc. Does anyone have any questions about that whatsoever before I move on? I need to see if I can, there we go. If anyone doesn't have any questions about that, then I will just keep going. And also, guys, if you want to ask me questions after and you don't want to ask it in here or whatever, safe space. But if you don't want to, then you can just ask me later on. Okay. Okay, this is, how do I, no. Okay, if you guys want to take a photo of this, feel free to. This is a social media bingo. So this is something, these are ideas. Oh, where'd I go? Hang on, one sec. Still learning how to use Zoom. Okay, there we go. If you guys want to take a photo of this, go for it, because these are some really good ideas of what you can do in your Monat business for content. If you ever get stuck or anything like this, you can literally do most of these things. If you have any questions about what they are, like just let me know. I can also send this slide and put it in the chat as well to make sure, because I know some of you guys are on your phones, so you're probably like zooming in and can't see it. You can literally do a lifestyle post. You can do what are you listening to, how to run your business. Most of these things, guys, you can actually put into ChatGPT and be like, I run a network marketing business. My passions or my niches are blah, blah, blah. Can you give me a 30-day content calendar? The more specific you can be, the better, but you can get so much from this. This is how I got all this stuff. So I will send that through to you guys. So that's all your content and marketing. Most of us are pretty good with the content and marketing thing. It's the other stuff that we probably need to have a little bit more, talk a little bit more about. Okay, so we're going to go into relationships and connection. Our job as network marketers, we literally speak about it in, you know, the title. We are networkers and we market. But networking is literally creating relationships and connecting with people. A networking event is literally people just meeting people. So networking is what we do. We have to get better at this. Now, if you're someone who is in this business and goes, I don't really like talking to people and I'm not really a social person, then you're probably not in the right profession, because most of us, we need to talk to people. Literally all the people in this team, we have a heart for people. We are in service to people. We want to connect and we want to create, you know, relationships and stuff like that with people. Okay, so connecting, engaging, and building. These are three key components to relationships and connection. When you connect with someone, say we're talking about social media, whether you are out in a park, whether you are at church, whether you are in your local gym or anything like that, when we connect with someone, obviously we are talking about when you find a new friend, it's probably because you guys have similar interests. You guys have met at a hobby. You guys go to the same gym or the cafe or whatever. So what are your interests, your hobbies, social settings, favorite stores, things to do, beliefs, values, expressions? These are what connects us. So you have to share those things. It's sometimes really easy for us to just be like, okay, I started my Monat business, I'm getting on social media and I'm just going to talk about the products. And then when I talk to you and go, okay, well, what makes you you? What makes Sarah Sarah or Jacinta Jacinta? And a lot of people go, oh, I don't really know. And I was in the same position too. I was like, I'm not really sure what makes me me, but it's all of these things. And so sharing these things are really important to build a relationship and to build connection. You have to tell people what you like doing, what you're doing, what gym are you going to. Well, you don't have to say what gym you're going to, but you like going to the gym, all that sort of thing. So people feel like they genuinely know you and they relate to you. So then another part of our relationships and connection part is engaging. So when you're talking to potentials, when you're talking to friends, when you're talking to literally anyone in any setting, you want to engage with people, but we're talking solely about our business right now. So engaging with potentials is all about seeing how this product and this business can benefit them by asking the right questions. So you need to just ask. What are you currently doing with yourself? Do you enjoy it? Have you ever looked into making money in the online space? Important to note, be relatable with your responses and finding common ground with people. Exactly what I was just talking about. People want to feel relatable. So, for example, if you're talking to someone and you have talked to them and you go, what do you like? What's your job? What do you do for a living? Do you enjoy it? That sort of thing. And they go, oh, I am a stay-at-home mum, but I've done, I used to do retail and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at getting back into it. I'm not sure. You can find try your best to find something that you can relate to them about. Oh yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mum too. It's hectic, hey. Or yeah, I used to do retail as well. I used to manage a store. What store did you work at? You want to keep conversation going, and you want to always find something relatable. So when I have conversations with people and people say to me, this blah blah blah, say it's about hair, this, I hate my hair, I postpartum, all that sort of thing. I will always go back and be like, I totally remember that time in my life when I had postpartum hair loss, and it was just like, I hated it. I felt so self-conscious. So I totally feel you, babe. And it's honest. You're not making stuff up. If you can't find anything to relate to them about, just keep the conversation going, because that's all what it is. Ask questions, keep the conversation going. And then building. So building is trust. So you're always building trust. Keep asking the right questions, foster the relationship, even from your platform. So even from your stories and things like that, talk about what's relatable to you, ask people questions, put question boxes up, all that sort of thing. People buy from people they trust and join those that are consistent and reliable. No one wants to put their trust in inconsistent, lukewarm, indecisive people. And this goes back to being consistent and being consistent with your content. Showing people who you are and being relatable and being a person. Don't go and be like, I have to be like the best social media person and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. You just need to be yourself, but you need to be consistent in showing people who you are. And it's so true. People don't want to put their trust in inconsistent, lukewarm, indecisive people. If you are not consistent in what you are doing and how you're talking about this business or talking about your life or anything like that, people will perceive you as indecisive or a bit flaky or a bit, like, oh, she's in and out, that sort of thing. In saying that, people don't obviously go there and be like, oh my gosh, like, Lydia hasn't posted in 7 days. People don't pay attention to us as much as we think they do. But at the end of the day, if someone doesn't see me, like my followers, if they don't see me post for 3-4 days, people like, are you still doing the business? Like, what are you like? What's wrong? Are you gonna, are you there? Like, is that, or I will definitely have followers be like, oh, is everything okay if I don't post for a couple of days? Or when I went through like a really rough like point a couple of months ago, people were like, oh yeah, I noticed that you just like weren't as active and stuff, and like was wondering if you were okay. They didn't actually say that to me until after, but it builds that like, oh, is that person all right? So you want to build trust with people. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one, skills and expertise. Now, these are things that you should be learning and have. Now, when we come into this business, we have no skills, we have no expertise in anything, like in any of this business. Some people come in here they've never done sales, they've never done anything like that. But we do have, majority of us have communication skills. We have marketing skills because we've been on social media and we've talked about things. Most of us have recommended a product once or twice to a friend or a family member or something. And then development. Development is something that a lot of people do not work on that much. And in network marketing, it is one of the biggest industries for personal development. You will find, and if you've been here any amount of time, you will realize that personal development is such a huge key point in this business because it brings up so much stuff within you that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of rejection. I'm really bad at comparing myself to other people. It brings up all this stuff. It's almost like a relationship where it's like putting a mirror in front of you and making you see your own stuff. And then you're like, oh, wow, I need to address that. So development is really, really important. So we're going to go through a couple of those things. Okay, so we're going to go through just a couple of things really quickly. So communication, prospecting, inviting, following up, networking, closing, asking questions. So prospecting, identifying potential customers or business partners that need the product or would be great. I can't even read my own writing. That would need the product or would be great as a business partner. So prospecting is seeing potential in people. Now, I want to differentiate. Do not fall in love with the potential of people. I have made that mistake time and time again, and it's probably one of my weaknesses, but also a gift. I always see the best in people. I always fall in love with their potential, but you can't hold on to that. So prospecting is seeing that someone either needs this hair care or needs this business. So that's just identifying potential people that could be in this. Inviting is talking to them about the opportunity, talking to them about, hey, babe, have you tried Monat before? That sort of thing. Following up, you need to have lists. So inviting is obviously inviting them in. Following up could be something as simple as having this conversation with Jacinta the other day. Following up could be someone has finally filled in your hair quiz and you get nothing back from them. You want to make sure that person, every person that you talk to about this business, the products or anything like that, have a note in your phone or written somewhere that you will have. I prefer having it in my phone because I'm always on it. Have potential VIPs, potential market partners. I don't care if you've literally just asked them, hey babe, have you tried Monat? And they don't write back. That person goes on your list. Then that list that you have, you can follow up with. So when you're having a quiet day or you've got a bit of time, you can go through that list and be like, oh, I'm just going to check in with that person. Ask them how they are. Ask them, oh, did you get a chance to see those products that I recommended for you? Or have you thought much more about the business, lovely? I know that you were interested about it before. You always should be following up and always have those names somewhere, because most of my business when I first started in this business was literally, I was following up. I would literally tell people, I'll follow up with you in a week or two. And I would set a reminder in my phone, put their Instagram name in my calendar, and make sure that I would follow up with them. Obviously, don't do it like 9 or 10 times if they're not writing back to you, but it shows people as well that you are reliable. It shows people that, you are going to, and don't do like a cringy follow-up message like, hey, just following up. Just talk to them like a normal human being. You don't have to be weird about it. Networking, get out in your community and get good at talking to people. Networking is just talking to people. Networking is just making new friends. Networking is asking, hey, how's your day going? Like, for example, I went to coffee the other day. There was a girl behind the register. I hadn't seen her before. She was at my normal coffee shop. I was like, hey, how are you? What's your name? I'm Lydia. I always come here, blah, blah, blah. Where are you from? Oh, you're from New Zealand. I can hear. Whereabouts are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, what are you doing for work other than this? It's literally just talking to people. When I started this business, I was honestly terrible at it. I was like, I'm not going to just randomly talk to people, but through like practice, I've gotten better at this. And I know that Celeste feels this way as well because she has done this as well. And it's something that she practices as well. So it is something like talking to people, randomly isn't natural. So get good at just making conversation with people, either online or in person. Asking, like we just talked about before, asking the right questions, making sure that you are finding out what their problem is, finding out why they need this product or this business. Closing is the thing that most people struggle with. So asking yourself, what do I need to change here? If you guys need help, if you feel like you're talking and the conversation is going well and all this sort of stuff, and then you find like you just can't close them to get that market partner pack, or you just can't close them to get on that, on these products, and they don't check out their cart, send your replies to me. Like, I'm more than happy to go through and be like, okay, let's tweak this. Let's maybe don't say this, maybe say this, ask a question, never end with let me know. Always end with a question, or always assume the sale, always assume like, I'm so excited to have you on my team, or I'm so excited to get these products to you, that sort of thing. Closing is like, you have to master it in itself, but that only comes from practicing. You have to have the conversations to practice how to close people. Now, that is something that you can drop into my inbox and we can talk about, that sort of thing. Honestly, genuinely, if you feel stuck, screenshot all of your messages, send them to me, and we'll talk about how to make it like flow better. Do not feel like you're pestering me or anything like that. Just send them to me. Okay. I need a drink. I'm talking so much. Okay. Marketing and promoting. So we just obviously talked about marketing, how we talk about content and marketing, but marketing and promoting, presenting the opportunity. So how well do you feel like you guys present this opportunity, present the products, present the business? You might be one or the other, more so. How do you think that you present the opportunity out of 10? Some of you might be like, or 2. Some of you might be like 10. But it's good to ask yourself, am I good at presenting the opportunity of what this is? Am I good at talking about the business? Am I good at, holding events, that sort of thing? Like, events is the next one. So how many of you actually present this business? Rather than just like putting your Ajuva beads in, talking about your why, you need to learn how to present this business to someone as a smart business opportunity, as something that's going to fix their hair. You need to be able to learn how to talk about what this opportunity is going to do for someone. And it's not just rattling off facts, it's presenting in terms of, how do I talk about this? You can list a number of facts, but people aren't going to listen to it unless you are presenting it well. So like I said before, it comes from practice. Like, when I talk about lives and things like that, a lot of that is literally just for you. Doing lives is just so you can get your confidence up. Sometimes I will click on a live and I'll start talking about the opportunity and not one person joins. I have 12,000 followers, and sometimes no one joins, and I will just be talking about the opportunity and I'll click off and I'm like, okay, that was good practice. You have to get good at those sorts of things with practice. That's the only way to get better. Okay, events. How many of you are doing events? And how am I trying to say this? How many of you does it scare? Because me. Me. I'm preaching to myself in all of this as well, because like when I'm writing this, I'm like, I also have only done like, one event, but I do local meetups and stuff like that as well, where I invite people to come and talk about the business. Events don't have to be wash parties. Yes, it'd be great if you're doing wash parties and you're washing people's hair. Events could be a meetup with someone who wants to know more about the business, or it could be a coffee catch up. It could literally be like meeting in the park with some mums. That can be an event, but making sure that that is for the business, making sure that it's like got a what's the word? Like you've got a motive. And it's not to just like sign people up and stuff, but you're connecting, you're talking, you're sharing about the products, you're sharing about the business, that sort of thing. So if you're not doing events, identify first what scares you about it. Because I know for me, organizing is the thing that actually scares me about it. It's not having people over my house, it's not washing people's hair, it's just the organizing. I just am not like, there's too many tabs open in my brain for that. But now I get someone else to come in with me and do that sort of thing with me, because then they can be good at that and I can be good at talking to people. So you need to do events. You need to get in front of people. You need to show them the products. You need to wash people's hair with the products, that sort of thing. Okay, marketing strategy. Know your audience and build your personal brand. And then use socials and in person as well. Relationship marketing. There is just, in your marketing strategy, you just want to have a clear idea of how you're going to market what you talk about. For me, a marketing strategy can literally be as simple as knowing that on Monday to Thursday, I speak about the products. So I tackle my VIPs. And then from Friday to Sunday, I'm talking about the business. Not solely, I'm mixing that in with all of my other, things that I post on social media. But a marketing strategy can literally be, this is what I'm going to talk about today. This is what I'm going to talk about today. Because obviously a confused mind never buys. So if you're talking about the business, and I got really confused when I started too. I was like, the business, the product, the business, the product. And I had like a million things all over my stories. I focused on just one and it made me like feel a lot easier. Like it just made more sense in my head. So just even something as simple as that. Content creation, prioritize that. Prioritize making some content. Prioritize even just putting some ideas in your notes and going, okay, this is what I'm going to create today. Because you can jump on your stories all you want, but if people aren't watching your stories, they need to be seeing your posts. So I would say you need to, if you want this business to work, we're in a social digital age. If you want to get good at this business, you have to learn content creation. If you don't know how to do it, just give it a go. There's no way to know other than learning. There's no way to learn other than doing. So you've just got to learn how to do it. Okay, engagement tools, making sure that you are always putting like a poll, any kind of engagement tools that you can put on your social media. That's the best way to do it. Engagement tools in real life can literally be giving someone your card and being like, give me a call if you want to use these products, or literally anything like that. So making sure that you've always got a poll, you've always got a question box, you've always got a sticker, something on your stories every day. Like if I was to look at people who are doing this business and doing it well, I would then look at their story and I would go, in the 24 hours, do they have an engagement tool? Because if you don't have an engagement tool, you have no way, you don't have your list. You don't have a list of people who are interested in the products or the business. You just have viewers, you just have people watching. So you need to be able to get a list of people together that are interested. And the only way you can do that is with engagement tools, because it's the only way that they can quietly reach out to you when they're too scared to jump into your inbox and ask you a question. Okay, development. So, okay, development is something, obviously, personal development. You should always be working on yourself, because if you are going to be a leader in this space, even if you don't want to be a leader and you're like, I just want to sell to VIPs, then you have to be a good service person. You have to be good at relationships. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to care about people. So making sure that you are all over all of these things. Now, I'm not saying like make sure every day you're listening to a leadership podcast and then doing, reading a personality book and doing all these sorts of things. But these are the types of things as a businesswoman, which you all are, should be focusing on. Leadership, personal or personality, I spelled that wrong, entrepreneurial mindset, relationship building, self-motivation, and innovation. They're just some of the things that you should be listening to. Like I listen to which we'll go to next. You should have development. How are you developing yourself? All of these sorts of things should be, these are some of the ones that I listen to. I love listening to the Ed Milet show. I love following Daniel G because he posts some amazing like sales things, atomic habits. There's so many things that you can be listening to. It can be 15 minutes every couple of days on something. You should be developing your mind, because as a businesswoman, to grow to the woman that you want to be in this business and to grow to the leader that you are going to be, you have to, number one, leave old habits behind that, well, you know, bad habits behind. You have to level up. You have to develop your mind. You have to become a better leader, a better service person, all that sort of thing. But you can only do that if you are taking care of yourself. Now, all of these things go into it. Social, are you catching up with friends and having a coffee and talking about life? Physical, are you taking care of yourself? Are you exercising? Like, all of these things might seem really just like, oh, who cares about that stuff? I just want to run my Monat business. If you are taking care of all of these things, you're taking care of yourself, and then you can take care of other people. So spiritual, are you praying? Are you manifesting? Or I don't know what other people do, I only pray. But that sort of thing. Emotional, are you taking care of yourself? Are you making sure that you're having breaks from your kids? Are you making sure that you are actually getting some space to yourself? Mental, are you making sure that you're giving yourself mental breaks? That sort of thing. Or are you someone who just like works and never give yourself any kind of mental break? Making sure that you are all over these. And it's really easy as mums or workaholics to just go, oh, well, yeah, like I go to the gym once a week, but then every other time you're not taking care of any of this other stuff. You know what I mean? So making sure that you're over this sort of stuff and personal development. Okay, systems and duplication. Ugh, I can't speak. Duplication. Oh my God, that word too many times today. Okay, so obviously this is our boards. This is something that I myself have created. Now, when I came into this business, I got given maybe 4 tabs, like literally just like 4 little tabs. I had to go into, I went into our resources. I asked every single other person for their boards and everything that they did. And I put that into something for our team. It's obviously not like the best, but it's what I've got at the moment, and I'm still refining it and stuff like that. But Daniel G said it the other day, and he's like, to be a good leader and to consistently make money, you have to do what you're doing and then teach other people how to do it. So you have to be able to show people how to duplicate what you're doing and give them systems to make it easier for them. Because at the end of the day, you can come into this business and be like, okay, just post on social media, you're sweet. But we need systems. Like the way that things run, I am not a systems person. I genuinely, it is the thing that I struggle with the most. So to even build this boards for me was like, my brain was just like, oh, I hate this stuff. But I have to do it because I know that you guys are going to look at this. Like I know Celeste has gone on and she's done her own boards. You want to make this as simple for somebody else to replicate and use. So you're using, duplication is literally paying your knowledge, your skills, your experience forward to someone else. Systems help us to do that successfully. Those who become the most successful find the way to oh my Lord, duplicate most effectively. And network marketing is the most simple opportunity to duplicate because it's so straightforward. You'll hear me say all the time, this business is so simple. It's not easy because of all the other things, self-development, all that sort of thing. But it is straightforward. What we do is we network, we build content, we market, we talk to people. So if you can put this as simply as possible and give it to someone who can recreate this, your business will flow. If it's all over the shop, you got no systems, you got no nothing, then none of this is going to work. Now, for you guys, obviously, you can use this. You can use my boards. You can use all that sort of thing. I've got a induction and I've got our board. So our induction is setting people up with their foundations, and then someone else can come and go in and make it their own and film their own video. You've got something that someone else can recreate. You know what I mean? So for now, obviously, you can use all this stuff. But if you are going to grow as a leader, you then will probably want to put your own spin on it. You can literally take everything that I've put in there and put different emojis. Like, go for it. Sarah's like, that is what I'm doing.
So, Lydia, what I'm doing is like my brain's like yours. I just
Yeah.
want exactly what you've got and duplicate it. I don't want to add
Yeah.
nothing. I'm just so grateful for you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then when I have stuff that I need to add in, I'll just add it in and, tell you guys where it is and that sort of thing. But honestly, just you need to be able to duplicate something so somebody else can follow it. And that's how your business flows. Because then you're going to be raising up other leaders, right? You're going to be raising up someone exactly like you who is in the same position, who's going like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know where to go or what to look at or anything like that. So you're training up the next you. So you've got to make sure that what makes sense to you makes sense to the next person that you're raising up. Okay, we are pretty much almost done. Okay, start here. Everything is an expression of this. If you are not hitting your ranks, you're not making the income you want, then you are not showing up and creating the discipline you need. It all starts with yourself. So, as hard as that is sometimes to swallow, it really is what it is. You are not showing up and creating the discipline that you need. If you want this business to genuinely change your life, if you want to see yourself in 5 years and look at the woman that you want to become, because we should all be looking at that, we should be envisioning the type of businesswoman that we want to be in 5-10 years. If you want to become that person and you want this business to literally change your life and to bring in like a solid income, you need to have discipline. You need to learn how to nurture all of these things, nurture yourself and nurture your business, and not just be a content creator, because we can all be content creators. But if you want to build a thriving, flourishing business with people in it who are like, your teammates, and you want to do really well, you need to take care of you and you need to take care of all of this sort of stuff. So spiritual, social, physical, mental, emotional, and then everything that I had on that chart before. Let's work together and create something great. Sorry, that's my slideshow done. But does anyone have any questions whatsoever? I'm open for any questions, but hopefully that was helpful for you guys and you got some stuff from it and maybe helped you realize what you need to work on, what your strengths are, where you're kind of like falling behind. If you're falling behind in personal development, get a book, like listen to a podcast, that sort of thing. It could just be that one thing that you're missing. It could just be the one thing that makes you level up in all these other areas as well. Like knowledge, I'm such a big knowledge is power type of person. So if I'm learning about these things, it's going to make you grow in so many other areas as well. So to have your successful Monat business, you need to have all these things, or you need to be working on all of these things individually. And it might seem a lot right now, but once you're in it and you're doing it and you're actually taking care of yourself and you're developing yourself and you're taking care of all these sorts of things, when you're not getting VIPs and you're not getting market partners, that does not mean your business is not moving forward. It means, okay, this is a time for me to build. This is a time for me to create my systems. This is a time for me to work on myself, all of that sort of thing. So all of this is part of building your business. So that's all. I hope that it was helpful. Obviously, you guys know, like my DMs are open. Message me with anything that you need. If you need help with your conversations, if you need help with your systems, if you need help with anything, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help or jump on a call. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much. Love you all. Have a good night. Bye.